Hey folks, this is Dawson with Anglers Covey. We're here at the South Platte River, and today we're going to be talking about streamers. Streamers can be kind of intimidating, but it's one of the most fun and exciting ways to fish, so we're going to break it down for you. So what is a streamer? A streamer is a fly that is going to imitate something that swims in the water, like a leech, a crayfish, a smaller baitfish like a sculpin, or even a juvenile trout. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes, and I've got a selection of them here. This is an unweighted streamer that's going to ride higher in the water column. This is a weighted streamer that's going to do a better job sinking down to the bottom. There's also streamers that imitate specific types of forage, like this crayfish, and big articulated streamers that have two hooks connected by a wire that allows them to swim more naturally in the water. So when it comes to fly selection for streamers, there's three main things you need to consider, and those are size, color, and profile. I like to make sure I'm mixing up all of these variables to have the best chance of getting into a fish, but there's a few things to consider with each of them. For size, bigger streamers are going to be most effective early in the morning and late at night when the temperatures are a little bit cooler and the light is a little bit lower. They're also going to be more effective in cloudier water or faster water. When it comes to color, there's a lot of different things you can pay attention to. Such as if the sun is out, you might want to pick a lighter fly, and if it's cloudy, you might want to pick a darker fly. You might also want to pick more naturally colored flies when the water is very clear, and more flashy or bright flies when the water is off color. Profile refers to how much water the fly is moving when it's swimming in the water. So some flies are very slim and they don't push a whole lot of water, and other flies have a lot going on, deer hair and rubber legs that moves a lot of water. You want to use a bigger profile, louder fly in faster water so that the fish is going to have an easier time picking up on it in the water. And those slimmer profile, quieter flies will work better in more calm, slower moving water. So what kind of equipment do you need for streamer fishing? Well, you absolutely can fish small streamers on your 5-weight rod and floating line. But what's going to be a little bit better suited to streamers is a 6-weight rod and line or heavier. You might also find it helpful to invest in a sink tip or sinking line, which is going to help the streamer perform a little bit better in faster water or for fishing deeper in the water column. Rigging for streamers can be extremely simple. The main things that are going to be different with streamers are you want to use a stronger leader and tippet, and your leader doesn't need to be very long. So right here I have a very simple rig. Where my fly line is going to my leader, which is actually just a used up butt section of 5X. And that goes straight to my streamer, and I've tied it on with a clinch knot. You can also get a little more sophisticated rigging for streamers. Over here, we have a butt section of a leader going to a micro swivel. The micro swivel can help the streamer swim straighter in the water without getting twisted. That goes to some tippet down to the first fly, which is tied on with the clinch knot. And then we have more tippet tied to the bend of the hook and a trailer streamer tied on the end using a non-slip mono loop knot. That loop can help the fly get a little more action in the water. And having two flies can increase your chances of a strike by having one attractor and one trailer that the fish might eat at the end. So, the basic idea of streamer fishing is you cast and then you strip to retrieve. And that retrieve creates a swimming action on the fly that can trigger the predator instinct of a fish to get them to eat. The retrieve is one of the most important things about streamer fishing, and you can change up how you do it to try to provoke a strike. So the simplest thing to do is just cast out and make 6-inch retrieves with pauses. But you can mix it up and do all sorts of things. You can do short, quick retrieves. You can also do long, slow retrieves. You can mix up your retrieve even on the same drift. So you might go 2 quick, 1 long, short. Quick, pause, another long one. Stuff like that can create a more natural movement on the fish, on the fly, to trick that fish. So the goal when you're fishing streamers is to swim your fly in front of a fish and get them to eat it. And there's many different ways you can go about working the water to get your fly in front of a fish. The simplest thing to do is to cast just in front of where you think a fish might be holding. For instance, there's a big pool next to this rock up here. So you can cast right up there and then just start retrieving immediately to try to trigger that strike. Another thing you can do is cast across the current and let line out and wait for your fly to swing around to the tail out and then strip to retrieve upstream. One really important thing to keep in mind when you're streamer fishing is you want to keep tension on the line as much as possible. This is how you're going to be able to create the best action on the fly. It's also how you're going to be able to feel the strike when it happens and how you're going to be able to set properly. Now, when you set with the streamer, you don't want to do the normal trout set where you lift the rod tip out of the water. Because of the angles that you're working with, that can pull the fly out of the fish's mouth. Instead, you want to do a strip set, which is essentially just another strip. One big strip to make sure the hook is firmly set in the fish's mouth, and you'll be good to go. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about streamer fishing or you'd like some recommendations for patterns or tactics or places to try, come into Anglers Covey and talk to any one of us and we'll be happy to help you out.